Hey guys, it's Miharu. A while back I did a video on my top 10 scariest things in Spyro, basically a list of freaky and downright disturbing enemies and bosses from the original trilogy. The reason I bring this up is because a few of those entries will repeat themselves in this video, but this time due to how difficult they are to deal with. Oh, and some quick rules: egg thieves don't count for this list, and neither do bosses. So without further ado, here are my top 10 most hated enemies in Spyro. Number 10. The dogs from Toasty. And here we are, already starting off with a repeat entry. The dogs are one of the game's most iconic enemies, and for good reason. Toasty was the first level in which players experienced a difficulty spike, in part due to the lack of fodder for sparks, but mostly because of these enemies. Their aggressive bark and sudden pounce attack as you approach them can be quite startling, and they force you to react quickly to defeat them. In the original, the dodge roll could be put to good use in evading them. However, in Reignited, this is rendered ineffective as the AI seems to be smart enough to track your movements. Number 9. The metalback spiders from High Caves. When it comes to enemies and platformers, there's nothing that freaks me out more than ones that are fast-moving and hard to kill. Yes, upon your first playthrough, you may have thought the metalback spiders were simply invincible, being both too big to charge and flame-resistant. Turns out, they can be killed. You just need to be quick. The thing that, bugs me most about these guys is that they just act as a massive roadblock. I'd like to be able to explore the caves and not—
Excuse me. I can't do this.
Why, John? What's wrong?
I can't listen to this bullshit.
I'm trying to explain.
Fuck you.
Is that they just act as a massive roadblock. I'd like to be able to explore the caves and not worry about if I can make it to the next safe spot without running into something. Number 8. The plants and devil dogs from Misty Bog and Dark Passage. I'm putting these two together because they share a mutual desire to consume Spyro. The plants were the reason I hated Misty Bog as a kid, and it's still my least favorite level to this day, though in Reignited it's more so because of the Nork dudes than anything else. The devil dogs at least have a smaller form that's easy to deal with. I actually don't think I've ever killed one in its large form in the original game. I used to think it wasn't even possible, due to how precise your reaction time needs to be. Number 7. The Breesbillers from Zephyr. The Breesbillers are some of my favorite NPCs, but good god are they annoying as enemies, particularly the ones that fly in a circle and drop bombs to the little ones. And those guys are a pain on their own, shooting at you from afar, but then you go to take out their ammunition-dropping pals only to be dive-bombed when you get too close. Plus, I'm not a fan of enemies you have to hit with a cannon, like the vultures in Icy Peak and Lost Fleet. At least those ones keep to themselves. Number 6. The attack frogs from Misty Bog. Alright, last one from Misty Bog, but you could see why I hate this level, right? Oddly enough, from what I remember, the frogs actually weren't too much trouble for me as a kid, it was just the plants. But then I replayed it and got to this room. Who designed this and what were they thinking? Getting through this cave unscathed was and still is a challenge for many players. The problem is not knowing exactly when these baddies will strike. You have to inch forward just close enough to flame them, but go too far and bam, you'll get tongue lashed. Number 5. Every enemy from Mystic Marsh. Mystic Marsh may be my favorite level from Spyro 2 because of its music, beautiful atmosphere, and fun little fetch quest challenge, but my god, these enemies are awful. The rhino snails aren't too bad, but they can get in the way. The snail elephants are an absolute pain, trampling you if you can't flame them in time. The purple lemur monkeys are aggressive and the most obnoxious of the bunch, and the spark plug thieves, well, as you'd expect, are tedious to chase down and catch. Oh, and I almost forgot about the puffer platypi in the water, which you're gonna want to clear out sooner than later, trust me. Number 4. The Robo Bees and Flying Beavers
Nice beaver.
from Robotica Farms and Crystal Islands. They act the same, and I hate them both, hovering around and pelting you with their stingers and unknown projectile objects. You can hit them easily by jumping and flaming, if they don't swerve out of reach, or attack you first before you get the chance. It's no wonder Robotica Farms is my least favorite Spyro 2 level. And the beauty of Crystal Islands is soiled by these things. I'm sorry, Mr. Wizard, but could you please show me the trick again? I fell off the steps while trying to avoid this wild animal that wants to kill me.
Well, I suppose I could show you my new trick.
as long as you promise not to tell the great Zamboni. He steals all my best work.
You are not gonna believe this.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Where the you get off talking to people about me behind my back going over my head?
What people?
What people would you think I wasn't gonna find out?
Number 3, the Nort Commandos and Gatling Gun Dinos from Twilight Harbor and Dino Mines. And no, I don't just mean the originals. The chemical goo and hot dogs are just as much of a pain as bullets. I should note that these enemies are worse to deal with when working together in sync with other ones. For example, when they're operating solo, I can focus directly on them and easily jump over the stream of bullets. But when there's another enemy with a ranged attack placed near it that also has me in its line of sight, suddenly I'm forced to dodge 2 separate attacks at once, which is very difficult. I especially hate this part right at the end of Twilight Harbor. I almost always fall off the platform here, either due to the commando or the gunner. I swear, sometimes this level is worse than the Frog Cave. Number 2, the Clubber Rhinox from Frozen Altars. These guys were on the same level as the plants when I was a kid. What could be so bad about them? Well, for starters, their range is ridiculous. Half the time it looks like the club doesn't even touch me, but suddenly, splat, I'm a pancake. And it doesn't help that the window of time for freezing them is absurdly small. The precision required to defeat them has always been crazy to me, and to this day I still can't stand them even in Reignited. And my number 1 most hated enemy in the Spyro trilogy is...
Get over
there!
every single enemy from a Sparks level in Year of the Dragon. If there's anything I hate more than an annoying baddie, it's a swarm of annoying baddies. They're constantly coming at you from all sides, and before you know it, you're backed into a corner with no room to strafe, and the only way through is to take a direct hit. Playing these levels in Reignited really cemented my hatred for these types of enemies. Small and overwhelmingly frustrating to deal with, reminds me of another certain enemy from a certain game, but I'll get to that another time. Thank you guys so much for watching. What is your most hated enemy from a Spyro game? And as always, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on all my social medias, and I will see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.